So just to recap, that's the 6 stresses. So we have psychic, mental stress, we have nutritional stress, chemical stress, thermal stress, electromagnetic stress, and physical stress. Now, what I'm going to just quickly do now is I want to explain how physical stress, to me, how I think of this as being important with the others. Now, I spoke about having that threshold of threshold of stress. So, if your threshold of stress is here, best way to describe this, I think, and you have all your other stresses except physical stress, and they're pushing you up towards your threshold, you're very close to being at the limit of what you can take. If you then do exercise at this time, you're going to go over that threshold. Then you're in all kinds of issues, because this is when you're going to be possibly going into exhaustion. You might get injured. The other stresses might get to take over and really affect you, so we can talk breakdowns, things like that. It's really important that before you add that exercise in, that physical stress, that you have everything else under control. Because what you want is you want it low enough that when you put that physical stress in, it doesn't go too far, and you get the benefit and you feel better for it, and you'll start to get results, lose weight, get stronger, get faster, all these things you're trying to do. So if you are at that point where you're training and you're not getting results, really look at those stressors and look at what's possibly inhibiting your results. So you can kind of think about managing stress. How are you going to manage your own stress? First of all, identify your own chief stressor. So your own main stressor. What's affecting you the most? Is it that, and I hope not, but you're in a relationship you don't want to be in? Huge stress will get you down every single day. Maybe that's something you have to deal with, or that's something you have to what's the word I'm looking for? It's something you have to attend to. So it could be just having a conversation, it could be seeing someone else, seeing a psychologist, whatever is necessary. That's just an example. It could be that you've got a workload that you're not dealing with, so speak to that person. In most cases, it's food we're eating. Best thing you can change, because a lot of the other ones are hard to alter. So you can make the choices to eat better food. You can make the choices to have high quality organic food, cook your food from scratch, try to have a nice balanced diet. And that's the thing, diet. For some reason we've decided to change that word to meaning starving, when really a diet is what you eat, not what you don't eat. So make sure everything's good and balanced, and where possible, eat for your metabolic type. And I'll go over that book in a second. Make a plan. So what do you want to implement? What are you going to try and change? And then make a plan of action, and a positive plan of action. Say you're going to do it. Don't look at it and say, oh, this is going to be difficult, because you're setting yourself up to fail. Have a look at it and say, what one thing can I change now? What can I change tomorrow or next week or whenever? It's a long-term goal. So definitely don't stress yourself out about it when you're trying to make that plan. Importantly though, eat and drink. Make sure you're eating, and make sure you're drinking water, because a lot of people can go an entire day and maybe have one meal, and this is just going to affect everything. So make sure you're getting your nutrition, and make sure you're getting your food. Move, exercise. Start off low if that's what you need to do. If that's where your stress is telling you to start, and build up slowly. And as your other stresses come down, you can pick it up, you can take it through. You can go and see a highly qualified exercise coach, or go and see a medical professional of some sort and get some advice. There's good advice out there, and people do want to give it to you. So they're always happy to give their advice. So just definitely ask people and find out if you can find someone who you kind of click with, because that's important as well. In terms of the mental stress, or the negative mental stress, I really have to recommend meditation, Tai Chi. It's not for everyone, but the meditation aspect, or Qigong as the form I do, and that's been massive for me. I have a very hectic week schedule which I manage, and so for me, meditation at the start of the weekend on a Saturday morning, followed by some Tai Chi, just calms my system down, allows me to enjoy the weekend and sort of clear my head of any worries I have about patients or any worries I have about family and so on before the weekend starts. It gives me a clearer head, allows me to actually hopefully deal with it better as well, which is fundamental. We can often, rather than think clearly about what we want to do, we just jump on the first idea that comes into our head, and that often creates problems. So definitely think about those. And there is actually another topic I want to just touch on. I'm not going to cover it massively, but I link it in with these 6 main stressors. It's specifically a separate topic, but I like to think of it as a 7th stress because I think it's the biggest one, and that's your sleep-wake cycles. So this is what I call, or I like to call, circadian stress. Your circadian rhythm, I won't go into it, but it's a natural rhythm through the course of the day, which we're all supposed to follow, linked in with sunlight, etc. Now, if you're not going to bed on time, that's going to throw everything out. Everything. Absolutely everything. Ideally, you want to be going to bed around 10:30. Not always possible, I know, but as near as you can get to 10:30. Doesn't have to be every single night, because there'll be nights when you want to go out and have a good time. So go out, have a good time. But be aware that you might then have to catch up through the week. Ideally, 10:30 in bed, sleeping through till about 6:30. Might ask why, but the main reason for this is between 10:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning. That's your growth and repair phase. That's when your body wants to be in bed to repair. If you're not in bed, you're missing out on this. So if you have an injury, you need to be sleeping by 10:30. If you're training hard for something, you need to be in bed by 10:30. If you're asking your body to change in any way and you want it to adapt, you need to be going to bed at 10:30, or I would give a little bit of leeway, 10:30 till 11, but you want to be asleep by that time, giving your body that time to heal until 2 o'clock. Between 2 and 6:30, psychological healing. So that's your stress healing, and your mental healing and brain repair. So, you know, if you're in a highly fatiguing job mentally, got to be in bed. You often find people who are quite stressed mentally wake up around 2 to 3 in the morning. It's normally because they're overthinking things, and it's kicking in at that time, and they just wake up, can't get back to sleep. That's where things like meditation come in, because if you can learn to meditate, it's just going to clear your head, and maybe you can do it before you go to sleep, and it just might help you sleep that little bit better. So, I mean, that's a very basic overview, actually, of a very complex subject, which there's people out there who know a lot more than me on the topic. People who can go all into the hormone relationships and interactions. I'm not quite at that level yet, and to be honest, I don't think it's necessary for the layperson. I think we just need to know what they are, and for ourselves figure out how to control them. So definitely have a look at your own day and your own lifestyle, and see where you might be able to start working on some of those. A good book which I recommend, and you'll probably see it crop up a lot, is How to Eat, Move and Be Healthy by Paul Chek. In that you will find a basic stress questionnaire. It will give you a good idea as to where your general stress levels are at the moment. You'll also find a basic metabolic typing questionnaire, so if you wanted to start following the basics of that, there are other books that are more in depth, but that's a great place to start. And it also has a chapter on stress as well, so you can read a little bit more, and it's again easy to follow. And that's where I started a lot of my own health improvements. So I can personally stand by that book and say fantastic place to start. So I hope that wasn't too much, and I hope I didn't speak too fast. If you have any questions, send them through. If there's a topic there you want me to elaborate on, then again send me through some questions, and I'll see what I can do on that. Otherwise, I hope you're all well, look after yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.